Hello tarot lovers and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth and on this channel we talk about building your spiritual confidence so you can listen to your intuition and read your tarot cards with ease. And today we are going to be taking a deep dive into the symbolism of the Rider-Waite-Smith Lovers card. I know some of you are going to look at me and say, well, what are we doing Rider-Waite-Smith for when there's so many decks out there? But the reason we're doing Rider-Waite-Smith, this lovely little yellow box here, is that it is probably the most famous deck in the world. I don't think that Pamela Colman Smith and Arthur Waite, when they put this deck together, realized just what they were creating. But this deck is fabulous, fabulous, fabulous for teaching. Every deck, pretty much every modern deck follows the system of the Rider-Waite-Smith. And so once you know this deck, you can pretty much pick up any deck and read it. So today we're looking at the Lovers card. So let's spin the camera around. I want to show you my cheat sheets that I've put together to help you if you're wanting to follow through and do more with the symbolism of the tarot. And I also want to invite you to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell. In fact, better still, join my newsletter list. All the links will be in the description box for you to have a look. I've got heaps of freebies for you. So anyway, let's spin the camera around and have a look at this card. So let's have a look at the Lovers card. Now, I am going to use my giant Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck today because it's easier to see on camera here. And this, of course, is the small version. This version in the yellow box, I believe, is a replication of the original deck released by Arthur Waite and Pamela Colman Smith, which has been bought by US Games. And apparently they own I don't think they can own the plates, but they own the original colorway from what sense I've been able to make of it. So I like to go back to the original colours because that's the original intent of the symbolism. So let's have a little look. I love this card. I'm excited about this card, to talk to you about this card. It's a long way through the deck. We've got a lot of videos to do and we're only at video number 6, but I am excited about this card. So what is the Lovers about? Well, I've got a cheat sheet here I'm going to show you that I'll be referring to as I talk to you about the card. And these are all available in my Etsy shop. So if you're thinking, gosh, I'd love to have these sheets so that I could look at them as Elizabeth talks about the cards, they are available in a big bundle. And I'll put a link to that in the comments for you. Oh, sorry, in the description box for you. So there is the Lovers, symbolism description that goes into quite a deep detail. You've got your color symbolism and other symbolism that I'll talk about in a minute on the back. And then what comes with it, these are my quick reference cheat sheets. So these are a cheat sheet that I made on a whim and is probably the best-selling item in my shop. And basically, it gives you like a snapshot of the symbolism of the card. So it shows you the Hebrew letter, the numerology, the element, the timing, the reading symbol. I use a reading symbol, and those of you that follow me know what those are, and also the astrological sign. And these are all Golden Dawn attributions, colors, a little bit of meaning. Now, with the symbolism, it's really important to remember that Pamela Colman Smith put the symbolism together based on her understanding of the cards. And again, there is no rules in the tarot. People think there's all these rules. There's not. The tarot evolved over hundreds of years. And so basically we have our best interpretation of the original intent of the cards. There's colors here that I've picked out that I think are important for the card. You might have a different opinion, but this is designed to get you started. And then I have a worksheet that you can complete that takes you through the process. And there is a training, I think I did it in one of the first videos, where I'll put a link to the playlist so you can start at the beginning and watch the videos all the way through from the full if you haven't, if you've just discovered me and you want to go back to the beginning of the deck. And basically it just shows you how to internalize the symbolism within the card so that you come up with a meaning that's yours. And I talk a lot about that it's about coming up with your meaning based on the traditional meaning. We don't pull a meaning out of the air. We learn the traditional meaning, and how we internalize it is by making it ours, if that makes sense. And it helps you to really remember what the cards mean. All right. And of course, they all come with dot grid on the back, so you can draw and make these into a journal or do whatever you like with them. All right. So let's have a look at the Lovers card. I'll just pop this right down in the center. So I'll pop this across to one side. I'm just making sure that I'm still in shot. So let's look at the numerology. So 6 is balance and stability. So this is about the balance of life, the balance of the lovers being in communication and in harmony with one another. Divine feminine and divine masculine coming together to create that balance. Tree of life, a tree of knowledge, tree of life. So this idea of do you want eternal life, or do you want, the red pill or the green pill? This idea of do you want to live in absolute bliss and not knowing the reality, or do you want to know the reality? So it's a time old way of looking at the world. This idea of balance, the balance between conscious, even in this card, the balance between conscious and unconscious. And I'll go into that in a minute. So timing, the Golden Dawn timing for the Lovers card is May 21st to June 20, and it is the astrological sign of Gemini. Now you'll notice that the dates vary. These are Golden Dawn dates. Everywhere you go, you will see that the dates for the astrology vary slightly. That's because it depends when the snapshot was taken of the dates, because the planets move around the astrological wheel. It depends on who's looking at it and what their opinion is as to what the date should be. And it's done my head in, let me tell you. So I'm just sticking to Golden Dawn dates, and that's what we're doing. So if we have a look, what does it mean that the Lovers are the zodiac sign of Gemini? Well, it is about where they are placed on the astrological wheel. I hope you can see this. So this is one of my cheat sheets from a set of astrology cheat sheets that talk about astrology and tarot. And I will put a link to those. They're in my Etsy shop. I will put a link to those in the comments. And look, you don't have to buy my stuff. You can do your own journal and just watch my videos if you want to. But these are all learning materials that I put together to help you learn the tarot. And if you purchase them, it helps to support my channel. And you can see here, the Lovers card is here in the sign of Gemini. And of course, I've put the other associated cards here. And this cheat sheet goes into a little bit of detail about Gemini. I'm always very torn about yellow ink. The reason I've used yellow is because Gemini is an air sign. And if we look at the classical elements, yellow is the traditional color for air. Gee, I wish they'd picked a different color, because it is a real pain when you come to make these cheat sheets, because the ink, I'm so torn about whether I just do it in black or what I do. Anyway, some of the print is in yellow.
you get the idea. So if we look on the astrological wheel here, I've got a bigger one, and this also comes in your pack of cheat sheets for astrology. You can see here the Lovers card here in the sign of Gemini, ruled by Mercury. And of course, if you go back to the Magician card is ruled by Mercury. You've got the 3 minor arcana cards. So you've got 8, 9, and 10 of swords that are located in Gemini. You've got the King of Swords, who moves across the signs and drags the star sign from Taurus across to Gemini. So, and of course the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, who sit outside and rule space, not time. And I have done a whole video on these cheat sheets, and I will link that also in the comments. In the description box. If I forget, please leave me a comment and ask me, because sometimes I don't have time to watch my videos all the way back through and realize that I've said that I'd link things and then I forget to link them. So just remind me. All right. So if we look at the numerology, the other card that links to 6 and is actually ruled by Capricorn, not Gemini, is the Devil. So again, repeating this idea of masculine and feminine energy, and I will do a deeper dive into the symbolism of the Devil. But just looking at this card, you've got card 15, which reduces in numerology to 6. And again, this idea of just take your shackles off and walk away. Restore your balance in your life. Whatever's going on is holding you back, but you don't have to be held back, because all you have to do is pull these chains off and walk away. Again, this reminiscent of the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. So you've got the fire here, the grapes there that represent the abundance. So that's the Devil card that links in. So why is Gemini linked to the Lovers card? You can see I love this card. So the reason Gemini is linked to the Lovers card is this idea that people who are Gemini are supposedly have this idea of 2 different sides to them, or 2 different personalities. But we're not talking about multiple personality disorder. What we're talking about is this duality, this exchange of ideas, this need to communicate with others, this need to have this ability to be adaptable and flexible and test things out and see both sides of the story. So this card, in reflecting Gemini, is showing the 2 sides, the balance, the masculine and feminine, and this idea of 2 people representing 2 halves of a whole coming together for completeness. So the Hebrew letter Zain. Now, it was Eliphaz Levi who attributed the Hebrew letters to the tarot. At least he's the first person who sort of formalized it. I think there are references, and again, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. And as I read more books, I'm sure I'll have more opinions on this for you. But it was Eliphaz Levi who came up with this idea of linking the tarot cards to the Hebrew letters and onto the tree of life. And the idea of putting the cards onto the tree of life is not so that you go away and think, I have to learn all this. Oh my goodness, I'll never learn the tarot. It's more for you to have a reference that you can look at and think, oh, that's another way of looking at the card. That's a deeper understanding of the meaning. And that helps me to get connected, to connect with your deck. So the idea of the Hebrew letter Zain is it's actually, the symbol is sword, It sits here on the tree of life between the Seraphot of Binah, which is understanding, and Tippereth, which is beauty. So this idea of understanding beauty, understanding sereneness, understanding what I need to come to a whole. It's about the seventh day of the week, which we know in Hebrew religion is about that seventh day of rest, recovery, to nurture our soul, to have time with others and time apart, to have that balance. So to be nourished as we engage with others is our Hebrew letters Zayn. And I do apologize if my pronunciation is terrible. I'm not a Jewish scholar. So we just do the best we can. So the classical element, of course, for this card is air, which connects back to Gemini. And this is about mental energy. It's about thinking on your feet. It's about speaking your mind with clarity. It's about cutting through, taking clear action. And a lot of the cards that are air cards have blue sky, which is about clarity of thought and action. Not always, but a lot of them do. So let's have a look at our symbolism. So the symbolism of the card. You've got this red symbolism, and it's interesting. See this hashing here? When I read about the first release of the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, they didn't have the printing we've got now. And I think her intention here was to create like an orangey kind of a color, whereas you've got solid red here in Angel Gabriel's wings, but here you've got more of a hashing. So it's probably like an orange, although there's a blue in the back, so maybe it's a shade of purple, I'm not sure. But the mountains in between are about the challenge, that is about the challenge between the couple. What are the things they're going to have to overcome to be together? Their nakedness represents their openness, their honesty with each other, their sexuality. But of course, you can look at it the other way and say there's an immaturity, there's a lack of shame, there's a crudeness about being naked, as well as, you know, a little bit of innocence, you know, we're born naked. And of course, that then links into this lack of relationship boundaries that are between them. The separateness between the couple is that difference. So that difference between feminine energy and masculine energy. And again, we're not talking about feminine and masculine as gender. We're talking about it in terms of the energy and the importance of that balance. The sun represents positive energy, and the angel here connects us to our potential. The clouds here is about being a little bit of unclearness. You've got the angel Gabriel here, who she provides the link to God. She provides the link to our higher self, our unconscious, our potential. But then you've got this cloud here because there's the unconscious self that we constantly try and tune into. And perhaps sometimes we're successful and see things about ourselves that perhaps we didn't realize, and other times we carry on blissfully unaware. So there's this cloud here between what is conscious down here, or the blue sky, and what is unconscious up here in the clouds. The tree of knowledge behind Eve, or the woman. Again, there's a repetition of this Adam and Eve story, which we see right throughout the deck. You know, do you want, and here's the snake. And look, people traditionally think of the snake as, snakes, poison, evil. But actually, their traditional symbolism, of course, is knowledge, which is why the snake spoke to Eve and said, just have one of these special apples and you'll know everything. And the tree of life, which is about stay in the garden. Don't don't rock don't rock the world. Don't tip the apple cart. Don't upset things. Just be who you are and do your thing and don't worry about it. So you've got this balance between knowledge and, like the Fool card, stepping out and being in your completeness. So if we look at the symbolism in the card, you've got yellow symbolism, which is brightness and vitality, and being mindful not to push too hard and take too many risks. Or you could be like Icarus, and I told the story of Icarus in the Fool card, this idea of doing, taking too much of a risk and coming to a crashing end. The purple symbolism on the angel Gabriel is very appropriate. Purple has association with psychic energy and the mysteries that surround the above and below, or the unconscious and the conscious. Again, as I said, your grey clouds here, this is about a little bit of confusion. Maybe there's even a little bit of lack of clarity between the couple about the challenges they're going to have. And certainly it is that separation that we know is between what is conscious and what is unconscious. Clear blue sky, as I said, clarity of thought, clarity of action. The angel's wings in red is passion, potential, and the mysteries of a relationship, the mystery of finding someone, of often, I know in my case, I walked into a room and there he was, and we've been together ever since. So this idea of the mysteries of a relationship, what brings people together, and what tears them apart. The apples, again, you've got the red apples of temptation, passion, being too focused on maybe the pleasures of the body and knowledge, and the flames of the tree of life reminding us of our spiritual side. And actually these link in, with the devil card. I knew I had this here for a reason. Again, you've got the flames here in the devil card reminding us of our passion and our spiritual side, and this idea of, again, it's the balance. It's the balance between idealism and reality. So that is the Lover's card. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I would love to answer them. I may have to go and consult some of my tarot books, but I certainly will answer them. I will definitely be going on with our next card, which is the Chariot, which will be our next card that I'll be talking about, the symbolism. And already you can see feminine and masculine ideas repeated in this card. So that's all from me. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.